Z1C.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Banyan Printing, your trusted printing, mailing, and signage partner in the Palm Beaches for over 45 years. Banyan Printing's new metallic ink press adds that extra shine so that your product comes out in glossy gold, sparkling silver, or any other color you want to shine. Banyan Printing is the official printer of Kaiser Athletics and would love to be your official printing partner as well. Order products and learn more about what Banyan Printing can do for your business at banyanonline.com or call 561-586-6220.
Hey, it's your boy JC reminding you to go on YouTube right now. Hit subscribe on Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The best from sports, stupidity, and social media. Exclusive on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Hit subscribe now.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Good afternoon, everybody. Russo and Rizzo live here, ESPN 106.3, live from Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, of course, Christian Cat helping us out in the ones and twos back at the City Play Studios in West Palm Beach. It's Russo and Rizzo live here, 4 to 6 today. Packed program today. We'll hear from Mike Tannenbaum, the executive vice president, former, that is, of the Miami Dolphins and the former general manager of the New York Jets. Packed program here. Mike, how you doing today? What's going on?
I'm great, dude. What a beautiful day it is here in South Florida. This is why the snowbirds move south, is for days like this.
Oh, it's perfect right now. Not an ounce of humidity.
No.
It's perfect.
And the 20 inches of snow that has come through in my hometown, I'm happy to be here in beautiful South Florida at Hurricane Grill.
Absolutely. And we're here on the patio too, so we're getting the whole feel right now. You got the TV set up, you got everything you possibly need over at Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. Now, we got a lot to talk about today because there's a Thursday night football matchup today that's very, very interesting, and that's that Packer-Lion game. 9-3 Packers, 11-1 Lions. You'd think the Lions are a little bit bulletproof, a little bit invincible at this point, but wrong. Lions are going to be a little shorthanded tonight.
Yep.
Packers need the game. They've already lost to the Lions once in their own building. And number two, the Lions need to stay ahead of what the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. They're only a game behind. Mm-hmm. So it's almost a game of keep away if you're the Lions trying to get that one seed in the NFC. So now it's a risky position for the Lions, but also if you're the Packers, you need to get your split against the Lions. You can't lose to them twice in one season. This is a very interesting game tonight.
Correct, and all three teams play 3 more divisional games. Obviously, after tonight, for the Lions and the Packers, it'll be 2. But we talked about this close division race yesterday, and it all starts tonight on Thursday Night Football. You mentioned the injuries for the Lions. I think they have enough firepower still. I think they have enough moxie. You wonder if they're going to be able to get after the quarterback. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson has been hurt for a little bit now, but they've been doing a good job with the Band-Aids like Zadarius Smith and company of getting after the quarterback. I think when you look at this game, is it going to be a Jordan Love game? Is it going to be a Jared Goff game? We've seen both quarterbacks kind of struggle a bit this year. We've seen both quarterbacks play very well. So I'm looking specifically at the quarterback matchup, Colin, and I know that, earlier on ESPN Radio, a couple other people were as well.
What you're alluding to is, of course, Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike, which you could hear 6 to 10 on ESPN Radio, came out and said how basically he's the highest on Jordan Love
Right.
comparatively to anybody. And I know the Packer fans in the world think that Jordan Love is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he's the next coming of Favre and Rodgers, and this and that and the other, because that's what the Packer fan is supposed to think. You got to give him credit for that.
Yep.
But Chris Canty goes to the lengths of saying that Jordan Love is to a higher standard at his best comparatively to players like Jared Goff, to players like Jalen Hurts. And I'm not sure if I really buy that. There's an audio of it here. Take a listen to Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike. I think this was this morning, talking about Jordan Love in comparison to other NFC counterparts of Jared Goff and Jalen Hurts.
If you look at Jordan Love's numbers, so last year in the 17 games he started, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So far in the 10 games he started this year, reminder, he missed those, one or two games earlier this year?
Yeah.
He has 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Same amount of interceptions, obviously less touchdowns, less games played. So he's trending a little bit worse. But that all said, you said something very interesting just now. You believe if Jordan Love gets hot, they're the most dangerous team in the NFC, when we've all sat here and said the Eagles, top to bottom, 1 through 53, are the most talented team in football.
Yes.
Why?
Because the quarterback has more horsepower than those other upper echelon teams. Jordan Love at his best is better than Jalen Hurts or Jared Goff.
So that's Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, basically saying at his best, he believes that Jordan Love, the Packer quarterback, offers a bit more and is better than Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff, two quarterbacks that have been to Super Bowls. Keep that in mind, and two quarterbacks that have made playoff runs in their own right. For Jordan Love to be in his second season, essentially, after sitting around for 3 seasons behind Aaron Rodgers, and for us to declare this, I think is a little premature. I think that he has an opportunity to offer a little bit more than what the Jared Goffs and Jalen Hurts does of the world, but I think this is a completely unfair assessment to declare that Jordan Love already is better than Jalen Hurts and Jared Goff, two quarterbacks who have outplayed Mahomes in big spots in their own past, in their playoff spots. So from that, even Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl played better than Mahomes in that game, lost the game, but it was an offensive-minded game. Jalen Hurts played great in the Super Bowl. He has taken them to a Super Bowl. What has Jordan Love done other than winning that playoff game last year, which is a great win, and they played terrific. And, San Francisco was a good enough game. But he hasn't shown you nearly enough. He's been entirely too erratic for my liking to agree with that statement.
Agreed, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt here for a second. I know he got hurt in that Brazil game, and maybe he's not 100%. That's the crutch I keep hearing from Packer fans, is that he's not at 100% fine. And the team is still 9-3. As far as I'm concerned, I think Jordan Love still has to prove that contract. Love was supposed to be under contract this season. I thought it was a little foolish for the Packers to kind of just go all in while they still had another year left. I understand the whole conversation of you want to build around your franchise guy. You want to show your guy that you believe in him. They drafted him. The Packers do things differently. As a fan of a team who's been in quarterback hell my entire life, I envy the Packers and what they do. I just thought it was a little premature to give Love that contract. And I think that in games like tonight, you're really going to see if Jordan Love is up for the task of beating an 11-1 football team, a divisional opponent too. This is the biggest game of the season for the Packers as far as I'm concerned.
That's a good.
I think it's a big game. Obviously, it's a big game for the Lions too. It's a big game on both sides because of the division, but it's a huge game, I think, for Jordan Love, a chance for him to make a statement.
And the Lions still have to deal with the Bills towards the end of the year. They have the third hardest schedule remaining, while the Eagles, on the other hand, have the 23rd hardest schedule comparatively. So the Lions have to go through a bit of a gauntlet here, and they're shorthanded at that. So this is going to be a tricky game at that. But to your point about Jordan Love, I think that's the bed the Packers made for themselves, is that if you're going to sit somebody for 2-3 years, all of a sudden you're going to have to make a bit of a decision on the contract. That's the sacrifice you make when you bench a quarterback for a prolonged period of time to make sure he is prepared when he finally is the starting quarterback. It sounds like Jordan Love is their guy, and of course they paid him to do it, so I have no problem with that. I have a problem with declaring him a more valuable asset at the quarterback position comparatively to two guys who have seen a lot of playoff success thus far, one of them being Jared Goff, with two different franchises, too. I think he doesn't get enough credit for that. I know both franchises had great surrounding rosters, but so does every Super Bowl winning team, so does every playoff contending team. They all have great surrounding rosters. Jared Goff was able to do it with the Los Angeles Rams, and he was able to do it last year to a degree with the Lions. He's probably going to do it again this year. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, Jalen Hurts has had more big-time Jalen Hurts games, in my opinion, comparatively to what we've seen. They're both complimentary guys, but still.
I think with Hurts' ability to run, and I understand a lot of Hurts' runs are from the goal line. A lot of them in years past was that quote-unquote tush push. But I would take Hurts' improvising skills on the run, I think, over Love and Goff, even though Love has shown – and I used to say this about Rodgers early on in his career. Rodgers was a magician. He wasn't the fastest guy. He wasn't the most athletic guy. But he was a magician in the way he moved around the pocket.
Savvy. He was a savvy player.
And eluded pressure. I see a little bit of that from Jordan Love. But I'm with you. I think we all need to pump the brakes a little bit on Love. And I think it's a little unfair to him right now, right? I mean, he's played a year and a half of NFL football. He's started a year and a half of NFL football so far. And I think what Packer fans kind of are ignoring a little bit too. I mean, the Malik kid looked well. Malik Willis was the quarterback of this team and was able to win games. I understand that both of them were at home, but I don't want to say it's a plug-and-play offense. I think that'd be a little unfair to Love too. But I think it's unfair to him for us to go to these lengths for him right now. Let's give him a couple more years and check back in. But I do think it was a little premature on that contract, and they maybe could have waited a year and got players elsewhere and gone for it a little bit this year. But, you know, a 9-3 football team, you could hardly complain.
Well, they have gone for it. They got Josh Jacobs in there. They got Xavier McKinney in there.
The safety helped, and I think when you look at it, McKinney might be one of the better signings we've seen in the NFL this year.
Well, same with Jacobs, too. So, Jacobs is the focal point of that offense. So in terms of going for it, I wouldn't say that they haven't gone for it. They are going for it. And this is their moment. This is their time. The one thing that the Packers, I think, have questions at is if you're the Green Bay Packers and your whole mantra is you're going to pay the quarterback and you're going to kind of figure it out at receiver with the lower draft picks and Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, you got a plethora of different assets to utilize. Yep. And all of a sudden, when it doesn't work, Packers are second in the league in drops. They have 28 drops, only behind the Cleveland Browns in that regard.
Right.
So in a big game, when the receivers start letting you down a little bit, not getting the separation you're used to, or just not making a big play towards the end of the year, is this going to be a Jordan Love problem? Is this going to be a Packer construction problem? Is this going to be the Aaron Rodgers complaint that he doesn't have enough receivers? What is this going to be? Or is this going to be Jordan Love is a little erratic, which he has been to this point in this season?
Yeah, and Jared Goff has proved that he could be a good game manager. I mean, it got McVay and the Rams all the way to the Super Bowl. But you know, Colin, I am hard on Goff. I don't know if Goff can win the big one. I understand he was young in his career, and I'm starting to come off this a little bit. But when I look at the quarterbacks around the league, I just look at Jared Goff, and I don't see a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. But when you line up all the great pieces around him, you get 11-1 football. It's up to Goff to not make the mistakes.
Goff's a Super Bowl winning. He's a Super Bowl level quarterback.
It's up to Goff to not make the mistakes to kind of hinder his team when they get to the big moment. Last year, we blamed Campbell. And personally, I think it was more Campbell's fault not taking the points rather than the offense not scoring. But no one said that the Lions offense had to just go completely anemic. We could blame coaching. We could blame a lot of things on that. If I had to pick one of the three between Hurts, between Goff, between Love, I would go with Jalen Hurts right now. That would be my vote. I'd go Jalen Hurts, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, just because I need to see more from Love. Hurts and Goff have 3+ seasons of starting quarterback seasons in the NFL. Goff is a veteran at this point. So I think it's really unfair for us to do this stuff with Jordan Love right now. Let's give the young man a couple years. Let him do that. Let him ride out that contract, even though, as I've been saying, it was a little premature. Let him play out that contract. Let's see how this thing goes, because we know one thing. Green Bay knows quarterbacks.
Well, he's going to play out that contract already. He's got 6 years left on that deal. It's Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 106.3, live from Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, of course, Christian Cat, helping us out back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. It's a lovely day outside in a Thursday edition here. Early afternoon got you till 6 p.m. am I. And if you're looking for some action this weekend, I'm telling you, something's going on Sunday. I think Mike can tell you all about it.
Yes, this Sunday, folks, we are going to be live with the ESPN Street Team. Mark the calendars and gear up for game day this Sunday, December 8th. Join Bud Light and the ESPN West Palm Street Team at St. Lucie Draft House in Port St. Lucie. Catch all the action as the New York Jets face off against the Miami Dolphins for one of the 3 p.m. showcases. You could also showcase your football skills for a chance to win Bud Light prizes. Enjoy $3 and $25 Bud Light drafts while watching the Fins. You got to be 21 or older, folks, obviously, to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly.
There you have it. You can hear that then. You can go check us out this weekend. Should be a lot of fun on that end. We continue live. We'll talk to the expert, somebody who knows how to evaluate quarterbacks at a professional level, Mr. Mike Tannenbaum, former GM of the Jets, former executive vice president of the Dolphins, current Jets consultant in finding the next head coach and general manager. Let's get his thoughts on a slew of things coming up next on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
It's ESPN 106.3, your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and all of the biggest football matchups throughout the week. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned by gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like uh-oh than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions or crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
A beautiful day here in Boynton Beach, South Florida, December the 5th, the Thursday edition of Russo and Rizzo continuing on here, live from Hurricane Grill, right here in Boynton Beach. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, of course, Christian Cat helping us out as always. Outdoors on the patios, come check us out. Go get some food, go get some drinks, go watch some sports. Got it all covered here at Hurricane Grill. So we talked about how Jordan Love has a big game tonight in terms of establishing himself as an NFC, I guess, contending quarterback, number one. But two, if there's a time to beat the Lions shorthanded in a tough spot, kind of keep away from the other 10-2 teams in the conference, this is the time for that Packard-Lion game. Let's bring in an expert, get his thoughts on a bunch of things. Let's like to welcome in Mr. Mike Tannenbaum, former general manager, former executive vice president of football operations for the Miami Dolphins, and former general manager of the Jets, and of course, current consultant for the Jets in finding the next general manager and head coach. Mr. Tannenbaum, how are we doing today? What's going on?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Lovely. We're enjoying the weather here. Are you in Florida at the moment, or are you up north?
I go back and forth, so there are some days I'm here, some days there, but back up north for some get up tomorrow.
Okay, so you got to enjoy that cold weather, the brisk one.
Yeah.
We hope you're having fun with that. But let's start with what's going on tonight with that Packard-Lion game. Big game tonight, 9-3, 11-1. A good Thursday night matchup in a game where I think that Lions are a little short-handed, and there's a game where they bled a little bit last week in that second half against the Chicago Bears, and the Packers are going to be hungry for this win. Now, the thing is, they won this exact game last year. What's your takeaway and think what we're going to see as football fans tonight on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, like a couple of things. Like, is Detroit the best team in the league? They're decimated on injuries on the defensive side of the ball, especially. Feel like they're losing a quality player every week. They lost Alex Anzalone. Obviously, they're missing the great Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, on and on and on. And then on the other side, Jordan Love, let's go. We're paying you big-time money. This is a big-time game, and you've got to play big time. So I think it's going to be great to see the Packer offense against a depleted Detroit defense, and should be a great game.
Mike, who would you give the edge in this division to right now?
It's Detroit and draw a line, guys. I just think they're the most balanced team, and certainly, when you look at their offense, I think this is going to be a pretty high-scoring game.
Mike, when it comes to the other teams, the Packers and the Vikings, what can they do this season? I know there's something, obviously in the offseason is where you can improve, but what can they do this year to maybe get to that Lion level?
I thought they played better defensively against Miami. I think just consistency on that side of the ball. Lucas Van Ness started to flash a little bit, guys. Last year's first-round pick, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark. They got some firepower there, and when healthy, Jair Alexander is one of the best corners.
Mr. Mike Tannenbaum joining us now, the ESPN NFL insider on Russo and Rizzo. Mike, with this game tonight, Chris Canty of Unsportsmanlike, one of your coworkers over at ESPN, said that he thinks at their best he would take Jordan Love over the likes of a Jalen Hurts or a Jared Goff. What would be your reaction to that? Would you agree with him or do you disagree?
Right now Jared Goff's playing as good as anybody. I've done a bunch of their games for ESPN Radio, and it's impressive. So I think we're underestimating the season that Jared Goff's having. I love Love long term. I think his size, athleticism, he is your prototypical, what I think big time quarterback should look like and be like. So long term, I'll take Love. Short term, I'll take Goff.
Who could win a game? So Mike, I always do this scenario with everyone. 2 minutes left, ball on your own 20. Got to go down the field and score a touchdown to win. Who do you trust the most out of those three? Goff, Hurts, Love.
Yeah, right now it's Jared Goff. I mean, look at how well they're playing. I mean, his efficiency. I mean, if you go by what we see, guys, he's playing that good.
He is. I agree. I think Goff at this point is starting to be underrated a little bit. Just because the team is good around him shouldn't shorthand what he is accomplishing on the football field. Because with Jared, any quarterback needs a supporting cast in order to be successful. I understand the Lions are probably a different level than everybody else. But in terms of most quarterbacks are complementary players. In terms of being an A1 complementary quarterback, I would put Jared Goff, maybe even Jalen Hurts, at the top of the list of the complementary quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
Mike
that's fair, but yeah. I think Goff's more than that at this point.
Mike is the biggest threat to the Lions in the NFC in their division.
It's the Eagles. You look at all those young players they have on defense. That from Jalen Carter to Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, they're playing really good defense. So we know Saquon Barkley's going to get the headlines, but I really like the way those young players are playing. Vic Fangio's done a nice job. So I think it's Detroit, then Philly, and then draw a big line.
Mike, I want to segue a little bit into something that just came out in terms of a recent report on the college head coaching search side of things. And I know this is something you're somewhat familiar with, of course, being involved in the 33rd team and everything like that. But Bill Belichick has been reported that he is officially interviewed for that UNC head coaching vacancy after they let Mac Brown go. Smoke and mirrors? Is this something where he's just trying to get his name out there? What is the real philosophy behind this? Because I'm a little confused on why Belichick would take that interview.
Yeah, that's a great question. That's news to me, so that's interesting. Look, he's obviously an incredible coach, and I'm sure, I don't know if he'll wind up in college, but, that's interesting. I think college football is certainly going more towards the pro game, just given, how the players are getting paid and things like that.
So from that perspective, yes, but you would think that Belichick is going to wait for one of the 6-7 openings on the NFL side of things, not only for the Shula record, but he doesn't strike me as somebody who's going to be super interested in recruiting, especially in the NIL side of things. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but look, a lot of these coaches are CEOs and they have plenty of people to help, but that's a very fair point.
Mike, best guess, does Belichick make it back to the NFL one day?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, guys
as a head coach. Mike, as a head coach, I apologize. I didn't. Okay.
And
absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
But, Mike, well, one thing I wanted to add on to that is Belichick, the head coach, going to be separated from Belichick, the GM, or do you think a job that, I guess, accompanies Bill Belichick? And I don't know, maybe you're not allowed to say anything. Maybe you, as the Jets consultant, have been dipping your toes in on your own end. So we had
an interview,
I won't say anything on that regard. That's just me hypothesizing. But do you think this is a situation where Belichick, the general manager, is going to follow Belichick, the coach, or is there going to be a separation of powers in terms of Bill Belichick's next job that's likely inevitable?
You never know. Like, every situation is different. And look, lots made of that, roles, responsibilities. Like, I know when I was a GM for so long, like, we always rolled our eyes. Like, this time of year, everyone's like, who has final say and all that? Like, guys, I could just tell you from being in the room for 20 years, it's all about collaboration and working hard together, because if one person has final say and nobody can ever agree, it doesn't matter. Like, it's really hard to win. So what's most important is to get like-minded people that can agree to disagree, collaborate, and typically that's how you get the best decisions.
All right, Mike, we appreciate you joining us, giving us the time here on a Thursday. We'll let you go here, but I appreciate you giving us the time. As always, good insight, and we'll talk next week.
Mike, thanks, partner.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. That's Mike Tannenbaum, former Executive Vice President of Football Operations from the Dolphins, former, I should say, General Manager for the New York Jets, current consultant for the New York Jets on finding that next head coach and general manager. And I'll tell you one thing. Clammed up a little bit about the Belichick thing. There is no doubt that Belichick is being considered for that job.
Did I spill the beans? Did I spill the beans on old Belichick?
You spilled the beans?
I mean, could this Carolina thing be smoke and mirrors?
I don't think this Carolina thing is smoke and mirrors. I think he's probably putting his name in the hat, but I'm very curious, very weird decision on his part.
Rizzo, to spill the beans, you got to have the beans. You don't have the beans,
I don't
my
have
friend.
the beans,
You beans
no. You sure?
You're hypothesizing just as much as I am.
I'm sure I could get some pinto beans over here.
Mike
what are you talking about?
That Mike is the one that's almost spilled the beans.
Did I spill the beans?
C-Cat, what do you think there? I mean, I know Mike's our friend of the program, and he's got a due diligence to keep his mouth shut on this type of thing. There is no doubt that Bill Belichick is being considered for that Jet, whether general manager and head coach position or one or the other. There's no doubt that there have been conversations behind closed doors. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that assessment?
I mean, Mike had a hard out. Mike Tannenbaum, that is, had a hard out today at 4:30, and you got to imagine that this coaching search has taken a lot of time. Who's to say Bill Belichick wasn't in the room with him at that very moment? Who's to say?
He was with Belichick. Hold on. He said that was news to me. Let me go call Bill and just wonder what the hell he's doing, why he's taking that Carolina interview. That's probably what happened.
Yeah, they still need a GM, right?
Yes.
They still need a head coach, right?
Correct.
And we remember how things ended the last time Bill was being considered as a Jet head coach.
Yes.
He politely declined and ended up in New England. He was supposed to be the heir apparent to Parcells.
Right.
So could this be the ultimate homecoming for Bill Belichick in New York?
Belichick doesn't love New York, and he doesn't love the Jets, so I understand that. But if you're the Jets now and you need to have Aaron Rodgers under roster playing next year, you need somebody that Rodgers is going to respect. And there's a short list of coaches at that, and somebody at the top of the list would be a Bill Belichick. We'll see.
I'm telling you, man.
I can't believe that's the takeaway I have after that Mike Tannenbaum spot. That is
we
totally
spilled the beans. Kyle, we spilled the beans.
There is no doubt. And I understand, Mike. You got to guard your cards a little better than that next time, because there is no doubt that you have been having conversations or at least consideration of Bill Belichick for that Jet job. But a great job by Mike, as always. A lot of fun talking to him. In the meantime, if you got some action in the South Florida football area this Saturday, Kaiser football, as good as it gets in the area, they've got a big game coming up, don't they?
Folks, champions they are. They're all over the flagship campus of Kaiser University in West Palm Beach. That includes the defending champion and number 1 ranked Kaiser football team. As Colin alluded to, the Seahawks host Georgetown College in the NAIA Football Championship Series this Saturday at 1 p.m. The Kaiser Seahawks have won 22 championships, folks. 22 championships. In addition to football, the Seahawks are back in the national championship as well in men's lacrosse and have won 3 straight NAIA women's swimming and diving titles. Kaiser University has also captured 64 regular season and 63 conference tournament titles, plus a Learfield Cup trophy. Get the latest on Kaiser Seahawk athletics at kuseahawks.com. Folks, that is kuseahawks.com. I will actually be on the call for that game this Saturday coming up against Georgetown College. So get on out to Kaiser, folks, and let's support our favorite football team in the Palm Beach area, the Kaiser Seahawks.
Former Patriot head coach, one of the great, if not the greatest coach in professional football history, Bill Belichick, has been reported by Inside Carolina that he is officially interviewed for the head coaching vacancy at University of North Carolina. There's a surprise. There's something you didn't expect. Bill Belichick in the ACC handing out NIL money, trying to flip a guy last second on National Signing Day, which came and passed yesterday. Is that something we expect from Belichick? 888-760-3776. That's the Baptist Health Hotline. If you want to call in, give us your thoughts. Is that a job he'd even consider, or is this a job where he should stay professional? Maybe the New York Jets. We're hypothesizing. We're theorizing on Russo and Rizzo. 888-760-3776. That's the Baptist Health Hotline to get into the show. We continue the conversation. I want to loop Christian Cat in, but the phone lines are open. Bill Belichick, right move to go to college? Does he need a little bit of a revamp? We continue the conversation next. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Palm Beach County's premier college football event is back. Don't miss the 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, Wednesday, December 18th from FAU Stadium and broadcast live on ESPN. Last year's game saw in-state Rising Power USF beat Syracuse out of the ACC. What will this year's game have in store? Big names, big teams, big action. The 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, December 18th at FAU Stadium on ESPN. Don't miss out. Find out more at BocaRatonBowl.com.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Could Florida State alum Jameis Winston become the new face of the Browns franchise? We explain why it's more likely than not on today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-600-9595. 800-600-9595. 800-600-9595.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Guys, it's finally here. Wendy's new salted caramel frosty. It's cold, salted, yet perfectly sweet, delicious, and it's at the top of Santa's Christmas list. What? Santa has a list too, you know. And he's a huge salted caramel frosty fan. Probably why he's so jolly all the time. The iconic frosty with a salted caramel twist? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Salted caramel frosty flavored with other natural flavors.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Former Patriot head coach Bill Belichick officially interviewed for the University of North Carolina head coach vacancy left by Mac Brown. How about that for a story? Very strange decision. Trying to make some sense of it, we talked to Mike Tannenbaum earlier in the show, the former general manager of the Jets and current consultant of the Jets, finding that new general manager and head coach. And he was surprised by it as well. Whether that means he was having conversations with Belichick or not is a whole other theory that I cannot prove at the moment, but is something that I'm definitely thinking about. In the meantime, it's Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 106.3. We're live from Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. What a fantastic day of weather right here in South Florida. And a whole lot to do. Good Thursday night matchup tonight between the Packers and the Lions at Ford Field on Amazon Prime. It's an 8:15 kick on that one. The number to get into the show, it's 888-760-3776. That's 888-760-3776. That is the Baptist Health hotline for those who have a question or a thought on why Bill Belichick would take that head coaching interview. It's just very strange, but that's the Baptist Health hotline, 888-760-3776. Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. It combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic foot and ankle joint replacement, spine and sports medicine. All you got to do is visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. It's located in Palm Beach County throughout the Florida Keys. Learn more. Go to baptisthealth.net/ortho. So if you want to get involved there, that is where you need to go. We're going to open up the phone lines. We got Gabe in West Palm on the line. Gabe, what's on your mind? What do you got?
I got a question for you. I heard you guys say Bill Belichick, probably one of the greatest coaches of all time. But how can you be one of the greatest coaches of all time if they won't put you in the Hall of Fame for cheating? Don't that disqualify you for being one of the greatest coaches of all time?
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's just not done coaching. They can't put him in the Hall of Fame yet.
He still wants to coach in the NFL. I think that's blatantly clear. Would you agree with that, Gabe?
That he's going to be in there? I don't know. They just denied him for cheating again this year, and no NFL team hired him last year.
But Gabe, I just said
he's not eligible. He's not eligible. They got to wait.
And he wants to coach again. Like his coaching career isn't over. Right? You know, Mike Tannenbaum basically said he thinks we'll see Belichick again in the NFL. You don't think Belichick will coach in the NFL again, Gabe?
No.
Why is that? Because of his cheating allegations?
They had a story on it. They had a story on him last week by having nominations for being in the Hall of Fame. As he got denied by a lot of people because of his record, because of the Spygate, the Flakegate, yada, yada. He was denied.
I did not see this. So if there are people that are actual serious like-minded people in the football industry that think that Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Fame coach, you need your head examined. You need your head examined. I don't care about what cheating allegation you think he has, whether he did or not with the Spygate and the Deflategate and this and that and the other. Fine. But Bill Belichick won. He had multiple. Good call, though. I appreciate the call.
Thanks, Gabe.
But he was a part of 2 dynasties, and he whether you think he succeeded with Brady or not, doesn't matter. Nobody won better or more consistently than Bill Belichick.
I mean, what's the joke? The Patriots had 3 separate dynasties, right?
Essentially.
You know, they had 3 dynasties.
Late 2000s, early 2000s, and the 2010s.
They had 3 separate dynasties as a team. So I know a lot of people kind of think of Belichick as a tainted coach. I want to get your, because you're a baseball guy like me. Is this comparable to Bonds and some of the? And I agree with you. I think Bonds and company should be in the Hall of Fame. I think that's a disgrace. I think Barry Bonds is the best baseball player ever. I don't want to get you started on that because I know you disagree. But I don't get that same stigmatism with Belichick compared to the steroid era in baseball. And I don't think it's a big enough story. It obviously was at the time. But I don't think people are thinking of Bill Belichick now and immediately going, Spygate! I don't think that's not associated with Bill Belichick's legacy. Yeah, that's not a thing, and I don't think it ever will be a thing. So
there are people who don't like Belichick. That's fine. But to deny Belichick's greatness is a whole other different situation. Spygate or the Deflategate. That is stuff that only benefits 1 or 2 games over the years. And when you thought he did the Spygate for multiple years, that's fine. But my point is, he had a successful defense and a successful team for the better point of 20 to 22 years.
Could you argue
that alone? Hall of Fame without
and even Colin, I could argue he was one of the best defensive coordinators too.
Absolutely,
he was one of the best defensive coordinators under Parcells for years. And my age is showing here. What was it? Kyle, you're good with history. What was it? The Bills first, then the Jets. Where did he follow?
Because he went from the Jets to the Patriots.
Okay, all right. Because he was at stops before with Parcells as well. It was always the package deal, right? It was always
he's a Parcells disciple, yeah.
Right. It was always Parcells, and if, wherever Parcells was, Belichick was going as well. So I don't even want to entertain the idea of Belichick not being Hall of Fame. I don't know how true that was.
See that. So unless there was something that people are anti him in the Hall of Fame, dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Right.
I mean, it's Bill Belichick. Come on. This is not your run-of-the-mill head coach that is a fringe candidate. This is the epitome of consistent head coaching success.
Let me ask you this. Was it ego bruising for Belichick to go out the way it was in New England?
I definitely think there's something and him not getting hired immediately too, I thought was an ego bruise.
He couldn't. I think if you talk to Bill Belichick without microphones and off the record, he was sick to his stomach the way he got basically escorted out of New England by Robert Kraft. And then seeing some of these first-year head coaches get hired over someone of the status of Bill Belichick. And then the report came out that he wasn't even asking for general management powers. He didn't even want to be the GM. He was okay with just being a head coach.
And he wanted that Falcon job.
And he didn't get hired. I think it was a huge ego bruise for Belichick. And personally, with this Carolina stuff, I think it's smoke and mirrors for teams that need head coaches right now. I mean, let's go through it, Kyle. The Bears fired their head coach. The Jets fired their head coach. The Saints fired their head coach. I think this is a message to the league of, hey, I got other business that I could, take on other than the NFL. If you want me, let's start hearing from some teams. I think that's what that was today.
Maybe. And now I don't know if Belichick needs that type of publicity because everybody knows Belichick wants to coach again, number one, and they know his resume on top of that. So I don't know if this is going to be a situation in which Belichick's going to have to convince some people it's either you're in on the Belichick train or not. He wants that Shula record. He's, 16, 17 wins away. That is something that he is going to be extremely motivated to get. But long term, Bill Belichick is not a long-term answer.
Let me put you on the lasso of truth here. Hang on. All right, you're a Jags fan. You think the Silver Fox, Doug Peterson, is gone, right?
I do.
Would you be upset if Bill Belichick got hired by the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Not my top option. I would not. I can't be upset.
Okay.
I cannot be upset.
Okay.
But this reeks of Tom Coughlin and what the Jags did about 9 years ago and bringing in an old school, sharp as nails, tough, exciting, successful, older head coach, I know Coughlin wasn't the head coach, but he was basically the guy who ran the organization.
Right.
And it ended up blowing up in its face. So there's that, and then you got the Doug Peterson, the former Super Bowl winning head coach, who his glory days are behind him.
It would be a repeat of that.
It's a repeat of that.
It's a repeat of that.
So if anything, try something new.
All right, so and then how about the other teams though? Like Chicago. Chicago's got Caleb Williams.
I think there's one that makes total sense, and it's the New York Jets. There's one that makes total sense.
Because of Rodgers.
Because of Rodgers. Because that is a short-term job. That is a short-term. You need to figure it out over the next 2 or 3 years and maximize the great defensive talent that they have that are not really used to the top of their potential. And you got 1 or 2 years left of Aaron Rodgers in this really win-now roster, as some like to speak about earlier in the year, that they thought that this Jet roster was perfectly constructed, and this is what you have to use to win.
And it turned out to be a nightmare.
But you never know. The book is still out on whether
right.
So who are you going to bring in? You bring in somebody who can win immediately.
Couple more things on the Belichick thing. Do you think it would make sense for the Bears? So let me set the scene here. Caleb Williams, we're going to get to the story about Caleb Williams at the 5 at 5 here coming up in a little bit. But Caleb Williams more or less said, he's not necessarily bothered by already being a part of a head coaching firing. Do you think this would be the perfect situation for a veteran head coach like Belichick, who a lot of people say turned Tom Brady into the best quarterback? And I know he's a defensive guy, but when you think of Brady, you think of Belichick. When you think of Belichick, you think of Brady.
But Brady proved it without Belichick.
Agreed. I'm not arguing that. And I think, to your point, Belichick's trying to prove that a little bit. He could win without Brady. Maybe that's why he wants to get back to the NFL so bad. But do you think it could be a perfect storm of Bill Belichick knowing how to coach a hopeful Hall of Fame caliber quarterback like Caleb Williams? I mean, Colin, the Bears drafted Caleb Williams to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league and hopefully in the history of the league.
So
do you think this would be a good situation for a veteran head coach like Belichick to take on one of what we thought was the most promising young quarterbacks in the NFL?
I don't think so, because this is a short-term job that whoever's getting Belichick, you're getting him for 3 years. You're getting him for 4 years, tops. He's going to get that record. He's going to have a couple playoff runs. And then Belichick, it's going to be 76, 77 at that point. He's just not going to have it. So you're going to get Belichick for a short amount of time. That is not the type of head coach that I think the Bears are looking for. I think they're looking for something a little more long-term.
Right.
Might be optimistic, knowing the Bears and the organizational dysfunction that follows them. Maybe it would be a little bit playing safe, playing conservative to get a guy who's been there, done that, knows what a successful organization does. But to that point, you have a young quarterback in his rookie year. You're going to have to change your head coaches. And Belichick has his guys. And the one thing about Belichick guys, at least recently, is the Belichick guys have not succeeded outside of Bill Belichick.
Right.
So the Matt Patricias of the world and the Josh
Patricia.
McDaniels of the world have not succeeded outside of Belichick. So whether that's going to happen again is another question. But just off the short-term nature of this Belichick hire, I don't think that would be a great job. Same with the college level of things. You need 3-4 years minimum to really start to turn your team around.
Right.
Belichick's going to want to do that.
Makes no sense.
He's 72 years old.
And you asked Mike T about the NIL stuff. Bill Belichick's not going to do NIL.
He doesn't want to deal with that.
I mean, so let's say if he does get hired by North Carolina, obviously a hypothetical here, I think they'd hire someone to do the NIL for him. Like, we see people getting hired as general managers in college football right now. The more I talk about it, the more stupid it sounds. I'm not buying the whole Belichick in college football. I think it's smoke and mirrors. As I said earlier in the segment, I think it's smoke and mirrors to let NFL teams know, hey, you better get at me fast. I think it's trying to speed up the speedometer of him getting hired in the NFL.
888-760-3776. That's the Baptist Health hotline to get into the show. That's 888-760-3776. Belichick's best landing spot. Is it on the college level? Is it the Bears? Is it the Jets? What say you? 888-760-3776. Now let's think. Are you on the same page with me that the Jets is probably the best job for him? Or do you think somewhere like the Saints, a proven
Can I say something?
I
think the Saints might be a worse off spot than the Jets. The Jets have really – what did you say yesterday? They got great 23-year-old amazing players that you want to hang on to.
And Aaron Rodgers' buddies.
Right. But once you cut the fat of Rodgers and the buddies, you have some solid core there. The Saints have no money. And outside of Chris Olave, and I think Alvin Kamara is a solid piece, but he's already on his second contract. The Saints is not a good job in my opinion. I agree with you in a sense with Belichick. I think it's the best story. I think Belichick going to the Jets is best for the media to play into that narrative of, oh, he's finally going to New York after how this thing ended. You know, I feel like people are father's age, Colin. Like, for them, it's like, wow, he finally got back to New York. You know what I mean? I think if the Jets, if there are any team to hire Belichick, the most sense would be the Jets. I probably would agree with you on that. And I'd be fascinated to see if they hang out with Rodgers, because I think there's a world where Belichick gets rid of Rodgers like he did with Bernie Kosar in Cleveland, and the Cleveland fans never forgave him for giving up Kosar, by the way. I think there's a chance that could happen.
Is there, well...
But like at the same time, Bernie was a beloved player. I don't think Jets fans would lose sleep over Rodgers.
True, but nobody's bringing in somebody to the head coaching position of the Jets just so they can cut off Rodgers. I think it's going to be abundantly clear when they sign that contract that they have to deal with Aaron Rodgers for at least a season. That's just my perspective on it.
And Woody Johnson, and to your point, Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers, we know are buddy-buddy.
They're drafting somebody. They're not drafting. They're hiring somebody to cater to at least partially the Aaron Rodgers experiment. They're not getting somebody to cut it off because they would have done it already.
So you think Rodgers is coming back next year? That was my next question.
It's his decision. So if he wants to come back, that's what he has to do. But the Cowboys could be an arranged marriage that would be a big story as well because, of course, with the Cowboys connections there. I think that would be very, very interesting. In the Cowboys, the historic franchise, somebody like Bill Belichick would probably succeed there. A ton of expectations on primetime every week. Some people would like to say a win-now-ready roster. I think that would be something that also could be a bit of an arranged marriage. Jerry Jones, Bill Belichick, two of the premier, I guess, executive heads and personalities in the NFL. That could also be an option, but that would be if the Cowboys, of course, would move on from Mike McCarthy. So
right,
I don't know,
and McCarthy.
Sounds like by the week that they're going to keep him around.
Right, and we talked about that like a month ago. I would say you told me the contract's up soon with McCarthy at the end of this year, right?
Straight up, it's done. Yeah.
It's done at the end of this year. Jerry hates firing people in his old age. We know that from
it wouldn't even
Coach
be firing if you let him walk.
Coach Jason Garrett. Would he buy into Dak Prescott? Like, there's questions I have if Belichick were to go there. Obviously, I think there's enough talent on that defense when they're not injured that the Cowboys are arguably one of the better defenses and better teams in the NFL. It's just one of those weird years where everyone got hurt for Dallas, I think. So,
here's the thing about Belichick.
I don't know, man. Go ahead.
The thing about Belichick's not going to want to come in and draft a rookie quarterback and try the experiment. That's not him. He did it with Jones. He does not want to do that again. There is no chance, in my opinion, that he wants to deal with the building the crapshoot of finding a quarterback. I think he's a veteran guy. He's going to want to deal with somebody that has dealt with being a quarterback. He doesn't necessarily have to groom somebody into being a starting caliber, a good quarterback. Go to somewhere where there already is somebody. That would be somewhere like a Jacksonville, like a Dallas, like a Jets, where he has to deal with a veteran that has already kind of had some hair in his chest in the NFL. I think that is more up to Belichick's speed comparatively to rinse and repeat. Go draft a 50% hit rate quarterback in the middle of the first round. I don't see.
If he had his pick of the litter with what's available right now and what we may, I think he.
Prescott makes a lot of sense.
It does, and that's what I think I've talked myself into. But him and Aaron Rodgers are similar in a sense of it's their second team. This isn't the team that they're going to be remembered for coaching. Is it the perfect storm of two veterans?
They'd have to lock eyes and say, this is it.
Right. And I'm talking myself into the Jets. I'm talking myself into the Cowboys here with Belichick.
We continue the conversation. The number to get into the program is 888-760-3776. The best Belichick landing spot. We are taking it, 888-760-3776. That's the Baptist Health Hotline. We'll loop Christian Cat, our producer, back into the program a little bit next. Do a little 5 at 5. Stick around for that. It's Russo and Rizzo live here from Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach on ESPN 106.3.
Hey, it's Josh Cohen. When you need auto repair, honesty and reliability are everything. Trust the home for honest, reliable service since 1970. St. Lucie Battery and Tire. St. Lucie Battery and Tire has all the tire and battery brands in stock for cars, trucks, RVs, marine, power sports, golf carts, everything. Major and minor service repairs, free tire pressure, battery checks. St. Lucie Battery and Tire, over 50 years in our community. And now with 18 full-service locations, West Palm to the Treasure Coast. Go to slpt.com. That's slpt.com.
Good people. It's your boy Theo Dorsey, and let me tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Think Justin Jefferson will get more than 83.5 yards next week? How about Lamar Jackson? More than 1.5 touchdowns. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Hi, this is Kevin Dalton, owner of the Unlimited Auto Wash. You'll love our daily specials. With our loyalty card, you can save up to $5 off any wash on Mondays if you're a guy, Wednesdays for the ladies, and seniors 55 and older every Thursday. And Tuesday is Double Stamp Tuesday. With 6 locations, there's an Unlimited Auto Wash near you. Plus, we have unlimited monthly plans that offer inside and out washes with Tire Shine for just $44.95 a month. Visit unlimitedautowashclub.com or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO for a location near you.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers and communities they serve by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, PNC is always working to make it easier for their customers to achieve their goals and plan for the future, whether that's through innovative digital solutions or in person. PNC is proud to be part of the South Florida community. See how PNC Bank can make a difference for you at pnc.com/tech. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
HSS Florida presents ESPN West Palm's High School Game Day, supported by Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather. The West Boca Bulls are getting closer to the ultimate goal and will try to punch their ticket to the state championship. Coverage starts at 6 p.m., also presented by Kaiser University, Land Rover Palm Beach, Duffy Sports Grill, Shaw Sports Turf, South Florida Ford, Bud's Chicken and Seafood, and the Boca Raton Bowl.
The quality of our choices affects the quality of our lives. So, when it comes to how you move, do you choose to see a doctor or go to the #1 orthopedic specialist in the world, backed by a team who custom tailor your treatment? Do you choose to live with limitations or live life to the fullest by going to the place that's #1 at getting people back to what they love? Choose better, move better. Locations in West Palm Beach and Wellington. Learn more at hss.edu/Florida.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, golf fans, Colin Russo here. Looking to improve your game? Flagstick Golf Performance, the ultimate indoor golf experience, is now open in Boynton Beach. With 3 indoor simulators and a state-of-the-art putting studio, Flagstick helps players at all levels up their game. Get lessons from experts, try the latest clubs, or just come up for a round in the simulators. You can track your stats and see real improvement. Flagstick is where serious golfers and beginners find their edge. Bring your friends or family and enjoy golf like never before. Visit flagstickgolfperformance.com to book your session.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. I'm back, baby! Unsportsmanlike every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 1063.
Tickets are on sale now for the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. South Florida's only PGA Tour event returns to PGA National February 26th through March 2nd. Watch your favorite golfers compete on the Champions Course while enjoying a new on-site experience filled with local bites, craft cocktails, fan activities, and more. Get ready for a week to remember. Secure your tickets now at thecognizantclassic.com.
Hey, it's your boy JC reminding you to go on YouTube right now. Hit subscribe on Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The best from sports, stupidity, and social media. Exclusive on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Hit subscribe now.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at pnc.com. You're listening to ESPN 1063.
Anajar and Levine accident attorneys. at 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-FREE. Listen, if you are in an accident, car accident, truck accident, slip and fall, trip and fall, injured on the job, workers' comp issues, call Anajar and Levine accident attorneys. They will fight for you. They do not get paid unless you get paid, and they will fight to get you the maximum compensation that you know that you deserve. Do not deal with the insurance companies on your own. That's impossible. They make it as such. Anajar and Levine will help you to take back control of your life. Again, you'll always talk about your case with an actual attorney. They answer the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help you to take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Car accidents, truck accidents, slip and fall, trip and fall. Call Anajar and Levine, my accident attorneys. Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Take back control of your life.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
A beautiful Thursday edition live from Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo joined alongside me, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, back in a box at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Having a great time. Second hour of the program rolling on. Ton of action going on here. Come out here and get perfect deals on wings, food, beer, whatever you like.
Yeah,
watching sports.
All day happy hour.
How
about that? All day happy hour here.
All day happy hour. Go check it out at Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. That's where the action is. That's where the fun is. But more importantly, coming up in a couple weeks, December 18th, I believe. Big time action going on in the college football realm of things on ESPN. Mike can tell you all about it.
Yeah, folks.
Boca Bowl.
Coming up with the 11th annual Boca Raton Bowl. We are going to be having some fun. We're going to know the teams December 8th. We're going to know the teams coming up December 8th. So, folks, when the college football playoff gets announced, we are going to know who is going to be playing in the upcoming Boca Bowl. I joked around with Colin earlier this week. We could be seeing his UConn Huskies. Colin obviously is a huge college basketball hoops Husky fan. I can't put my tongue to who he roots for in college football. I know there are a lot of people still wondering that. Maybe we'll grill him about that after. But the 11th annual Boca Raton Bowl, folks, you can get your tickets now by going to BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets. BocaRatonBowl.com/tickets. Colin and I certainly looking forward to being involved with the wonderful Boca Raton Bowl coming up December 18th.
Cat, how you doing today? Back at the City Place Studios in West Palm Beach.
Oh, spectacular. It's nice and quiet here. I like it a lot.
You guys aren't here. Us. You miss us.
Interrupting my show prep. I enjoy it.
You miss us.
Sitting in a box.
Our reluctant producer. He goes interrupting his show prep. Theo didn't even have his show today.
I prefer your show.
Yeah, Theo didn't even have his show today. What are we talking about?
Well, let's put that show prep to the test. Let's do a little 5 at 5.
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, there he goes. See, Riz isn't there. I'm not there to hit the button. See?
Number 1.
You miss us.
The Packers at the Lions tonight, Thursday Night Football. Will the Lion dominance continue tonight on Amazon Prime?
I think the Packers are going to play well tonight.
Wow.
Then there's two sides to this. Number one is the Packers side that they sort of in a lot of ways need this game. Don't want to fall 2 games behind Minnesota. It kind of takes them out of that division contention, number one. But 2, they already got beat by the Lions already in their own building. Now, to the Lions' point of things,
who needs the game more? Let me ask you this.
The Lions lost this exact game last year against the Packers. They won on Thursday Night Football and kicked the crap out of them on Thursday Night Football in Lambeau. Packers came around, won in their building later in the year, the week after Thanksgiving, I believe, as well. This is going to be the Lions are not going to want to lose that type of game 2 years in a row. That is their bulletin board material, but they're shorthanded, a lot of defensive injuries. I think the Packers are going to play well tonight. I would take Lions in a classic. I just flipped. Packers in a classic.
Wow.
Last-second field goal to win that one. Now, that I think it's going to be a really close, a really entertaining game.
My question to you, Colin, to our listeners, 888-760 37-76. Who needs the game more? You could argue both sides. We chatted about this a little earlier in the show with Mike T. We've talked about it yesterday as well. I think both teams equally need this game. I'm going to go with the Lions tonight. I know they got injuries. I know they're short-staffed on a couple of positions. But I think that offense is just too much of a juggernaut. And defensively, I know they've had injuries. They've always found a way to do it, though, right? Like, Aiden Hutchinson goes down. They go out and get Zadarius Smith. They've been good. Like, I think it's the Lions' year in the regular season this year. I still think they win the division. I think it'll be close, though, because as I've alluded to in the past, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers have 3 NFC North games left to go on the schedule. Obviously, after tonight, it'll be 2 for the Packers and the Lions. But I'm going to go with the Lions with the home field tonight. I think it's going to be a big game from Jameson Williams coming up at Ford Field.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how the Packers handle that. They won this exact game last year. So I wonder how the Lions are going to respond to that. They're not going to want to get beat in their building twice in a year versus the Packers. So there's that argument that I think that's part of the reason why you'll see a surge of motivation from the Lions. And also they got to keep away. They got to stay ahead of what the Eagles and the Vikings in a lot of ways. As the Vikings and the Lions play Week 18. So that's going to be a big-time game. The Lions are going to want a little bit of leeway on that.
Right.
So they're not going to want to deal with it, play, and you're in to that 1-seed game. For some reason, the Eagles and the Vikings are in a position to steal that.
Sitting there at 11-1 going, wow, are we going to win the division? Crazy how good the NFC North is, and crazy how much of a pretender the Chicago Bears turned out to be as well.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Funny you bring them up because Caleb Williams talked about the turnover with the coaching staff after the firing of Matt Eberflus, saying he said, quote, good stepping stone for him in his career. Can Williams overcome coaching blunders by the Bears, and can Caleb Williams understand what a stepping stone is?
I think Caleb Williams is going to be just fine because he's never done this before. So this is something that's completely foreign to him. What is he supposed to say? You have to be as, I guess, attractive. You're a part of the allure of that Chicago Bear job. You are honestly a crucial piece of the allure of that Chicago Bear job. You got to seem attractive to prospective head coaches. You got to seem like you're easy to deal with. You got to seem like you're ready for a new challenge. You got to seem that you're going to be the guy that they can rely on in a big spot and they can get along with the head coach. So he's got nothing else to say in this situation. In terms of who the Bears are going to get, they're going to have to get somebody that can speak to him and speaks his language.
Right.
It's probably a bit of an acquired language at that. But once you find somebody who can kind of communicate with Caleb Williams at a deep level, I think that they're going to be just fine. I think Caleb Williams is going to be just fine.
Yeah, I hope he'll be good. Like, if the Bears screw up Caleb Williams, I seriously question a big-time quarterback prospect going to Chicago. Like, I had to tell Bear fans in Peoria last year who were worried that Caleb Williams would block a draft pick to the Bears. A lot of them were worried that Williams was going to say, no, I'm not going to Chicago. Colin, if Williams fizzles out in Chicago and it turns out to be a bust, the Bears are in some big trouble. So I think for the Bears as an organization, they need Caleb Williams to be good. And I think this is a crucial moment for president of the Bears, Kevin Warren, former Big Ten commissioner, by the way, Kevin Warren, and Ryan Poles, who's on his last leg as the GM there in Chicago. This is a huge spot that these people are in. And I think Caleb Williams directly is the focal point, as you said, of a head coach going there. A head coach has to sign off on Caleb Williams. A head coach,
You're the allure.
Yeah, the head coach isn't going to Chicago and saying, no, we're giving up on Caleb. We're drafting this guy.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of guy they bring in. They went with the offensive head coach in Nagy, failed. Went with the defensive head coach in Eberflus, failed. Fascinated to see where they'll go with this head coaching tenure.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Aaron Rodgers has said that he has, quote, nothing to prove as the Jets season comes to an end. Will Rodgers' stint with the Jets taint his legacy? Also, is this the last season we see Aaron Rodgers suit up for any team?
Well, to answer the first one quickly, no. We're going to see him again next year, and if he wants to come out there and say he has nothing to prove, There might be some truth to that, but inherently in his own head, there is definitely something he has to prove.
Right.
He has to prove that he can succeed outside of the Green Bay Packers, and I know he's 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury, but that is where, in order for him to be motivated to play, you got to think like that. You cannot think that you're just coming out just to play for the sake of football. You got to be motivated enough to prove something, a la Tom Brady proving something out of New England. You have to be motivated that you have something to prove, a little chip on your shoulder, because that's when Rodgers is at his best. Now, to the question, I can't deal with all the Rodgers headlines, and every 5 seconds he's saying a different thing. And, the Achilles thing, he lived in the headlines. Throughout this, he's living in the headlines. He had nothing to do with Hackett. He had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with that. He does this. He's on McAfee. He's always in the headlines. It drives me nuts. And I cannot deal with Aaron Rodgers coming out every single week and trying to say something that gets him and this terrible football team, the Jets, in the headlines. So the team is terrible. They have a lot of problems to address, and he is a big part of that. So he has nothing to prove? Probably not. But should he have something to prove? Yes, and I think he thinks that he does have something to prove. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's an MVP winning quarterback. I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent here, but Rodgers had an illustrious career, top 6 quarterback career in the history of the NFL. So off of that, he's fine. But off of him, he should want to prove something, and I think he does think that he needs to.
Call it for what it is. It bothers the hell out of him how bad the New York stint has been. Between the injury and the Achilles on Monday Night Football last year, and then the you-know-what show that has been the New York Jets this year, I hate to laugh at somebody's misery, but Mike Greenberg, Greeny, which you could hear on these airwaves when he is working his radio show, Greeny talks how the Jets are one of the biggest disasters. The Jets this season is the biggest disaster in sports history. I don't think I go that far, but it's close. I mean, it's certainly close to. If this thing does not work out with Rodgers, Colin, I'm not convinced he is coming back, by the way. I think it depends on who is going to be the head coach. Now, we talked a lot.
What are they going to do? They're going to get rid of it? They're going to trade him?
I think he just goes away. I think he retires. I don't think that contract. I'm shooting from the hip here. Maybe CCAT can look it up back at the ranch. I don't think that contract is anything serious. I don't know how much guaranteed money
I think he's got quite a bit.
Okay.
I think he can walk away if he wants to and forego that money. But number one, I don't think he's going to forego that money. And number two, I don't think the coach will have anything to do with whether he retires or not. I think they'll know if he's going to retire.
I just don't think it's his show anymore. This was the Aaron Rodgers show this year. It failed miserably. The show, we got a couple Jets fans here who said absolutely did. The Aaron Rodgers show failed miserably. He's not running the show anymore. I don't know if he's going to be okay with that.
Oh, he's good. You're off the Jets?
You're off the Jets. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we got a Jet fan who
What's
clipped
your
his
name,
wings.
partner? What's your name?
We got a Jet fan who clipped his wings. So
Chuck from New York is all done with Aaron Rodgers.
Fair enough. Now, to your point and what you said about he doesn't run the show anymore, yeah, he doesn't run the show anymore, but where is he going to go? It's either just because he doesn't run the show, he's going to retire? I don't think that's enough of a reason for it.
I found the solution. Go get Bill Belichick, too. You got two guys who want to run the show.
Why do you keep saying you found the solution? Uncovered this.
I spilled the beans, Colin. What are you talking about?
I'm a little lost by that. But nonetheless, from Rodgers' perspective, they're going to hire that coach and they're going to hire that general manager well after Aaron Rodgers decides what he is going to do with the future of his NFL career. If he gets through 17 games and he's basically limping his way to the finish line, I can see him walking away for health concerns, and he doesn't necessarily have it in his heart anymore. But I don't think it's from a power and control perspective, because he wants to win above all else as well. So if there's something that attracts him to coming back, I think you're going to know before you get those head coaches and general managers.
You're fired up about Rodgers, partner.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Number 4, I believe. Yes.
Number 4.
The LA Lakers lost to the Miami Heat by 40 points last night at Kaseya Center. I knew a bunch of people at that game in Miami. Is this more of a testament to the Heat trending up or the Lakers trending down?
This is the Lakers trending down, because the Heat are 10-10. So we know that the Heat are doing exactly what the Heat do every single year, and they are flirting with the play-in.
Yep.
And through 20 games, I know Hero has played absolutely outstanding. Butler has been available very sparingly. And it's a little bit of a strange team. I haven't watched a ton of the Heat, but the Lakers losing by 41 points. Jeez. And they had a hot start to the year, LeBron and Davis. But with that J.J. Redick experiment, and he was not good to the media post-game, and they're still
hasn't been all year.
They're trying to figure out defensively. J.J. Redick is also somebody who wears his emotions and the heart on his sleeve, so you know what type of understand his emotions going into this, and I understand it's a tough job, his first time coaching, but that's not an easy job. Coaching a LeBron-led team is not an easy job. Coaching the team with that allure and status of the Lakers is not an easy job. But the Lakers are, no, I'm not going to make proclamations or declarations 20 games into the season, but with an older, aging roster and losing by 41. It's not going to fly in a Western Conference that is as loaded as it could possibly get in the NBA.
C-Cat, I'll make this quick. Who didn't play for the Heat last night? What star didn't play for the Heat?
I don't know.
You're supposed to say Jimmy Butler. Can you say Jimmy Butler for me? C-Cat, what star didn't play for the Miami Heat last night?
Jimmy Butler.
And it is the 20th game of the regular season, I believe, for both teams. C-Cat, how many points did the Lakers lose by?
40. It's in front of me.
Sounds like an average night in that league. I mean, is that not the NBA in a nutshell in the regular season of 2024? A team with star power with LeBron James and Anthony Davis not trying, not caring in Miami. We call it the Miami Blues, I believe is what hashtag Heat Culture calls it.
Flu.
When teams come down here. Thank you. The Miami Flu. I mean, this is your average night in the NBA. And this goes back to what I said at PGA National. People are all over how to fix baseball. How do you fix the NBA?
And the Lakers are sitting there at 12-10, that 9th seed in the Western Conference. The Heat, on the other hand, 10-10, sitting at 7 in the Eastern Conference. The Heat are just going to squeak their way into the postseason. The thing is, the problem with the Heat is you could tell exactly how this season is going to conclude for them. They are going to squeak into the postseason, either being at a low 6 seed and avoiding the play-in, or just playing in the play-in generally. And depending on the health of certain stars, you are going to have an early exit, or you're going to have a competitive first-round series, and then you're going to see the Heat walk away into the sunset. That is the storybook ending that you are likely going to see from the Miami Heat on the NBA side of things. From that perspective, and the fact that I can tell you that 20 games into the year is concerning in terms of the direction the Heat are heading.
Yeah.
Despite them winning by 41 against the Lakers are no better. That team has no contention of winning. Everybody thinks that they're going to make a big trade. I don't see that. But
maybe Embiid. We've mentioned Embiid before. Colin, I guess I love that you're breaking this down. And dude, my takeaway is that it's game 20 in the NBA. I don't think any of these teams care. I don't think the Lakers care about losing by 40 other than the guy that's the head coach. JJ Redick is the only. Apparently, JJ Redick is the only one who cares. Maybe that's why they hired him, to get these guys to care about regular season game number 20 in Miami. I mean, we see these scores a lot in this league. I think the Lakers will make the playoffs as like a 3 or 4 seed, and they'll lose to a younger team in the Western Conference, like the Thunder and like the Timberwolves. That's my guess. The Heat, they might win a playoff series. They don't have enough star power to go anywhere. I think Jimmy Butler is a great player. He hasn't played in months. All right, I don't think any of these teams are winning a title.
Yeah, the Lakers have had the bad luck of running into the Denver Nuggets, who. The Denver Nuggets is the antithesis of what the Lakers do, because it's just impossible for them to guard. Getting swept essentially 2 years in a row, despite them playing pretty well. It's a bad luck. They're always going to be a tough out because they have LeBron. But number 5.
Number 5.
Luis Severino signed a 3-year, $67 million with who? Oh, the Sacramento Athletics, or the Vegas Athletics.
No, read the copy, C-Cat. Read my copy, please.
Collins Las Vegas A's.
Thank you.
The richest deal in A's history, I think. Thoughts on the signing?
That was not in the copy, the richest.
It is the richest signing in A's history. You were right. And
that was not in the copy.
Since Eric Chavez, a $66 million contract in 2004, I want to say. So
Great player, Eric Chavez.
Ever since then, that was 20 years ago. And what did the A's do? They went, I think it's just $1 million, maybe a little bit more ahead of that, just so they could get that stigma of being a super cheap organization and the 2004 being the most expensive contract they've ever given out. They wanted to get ahead of that. Give it to Severino. And how about this? If there's nothing that's going to tell you what the pitching market is going to be like this free agency, let's Luis Severino be your prime candidate at that point. $20-something million a year to pitch in Sacramento Heat. A guy who has been as inconsistent as they come. Coming off a great year, fine. But coming off his Tommy John, in which he wasn't available for 2 years. He, of course, in the 2018 era, was pretty solid for the Yankees. He couldn't figure it out last year, and he was better this year. But $20-something million for Severino, that's so much money. Now, there's two sides. To me, as an A's fan, there's two sides of this. Number one, it's a bit of a slap in the face to Oakland, the fact that they have finally opened up the checkbook, in some regard, John Fisher being the owner, the second they leave Oakland. So there's that. It's a bit of a slap in the face to that city. But on the other end of things, at least he's spending money.
Yeah, I was in the...
So there's a positive to take out of this that, okay, well, maybe they're going to try to up their payroll, from what I've heard, trying to get to the $100 million range. Great. They have young players coming up through the system that they're going to need to pay eventually. I don't agree with giving it all to Luis Severino, but if you're going to pay money, the principle is what matters more so than the player.
This signing made no sense to me, right?
Well, they need pitching. They needed starting pitching.
It makes all the sense because
Luis
Luis Severino, at his best, is a Cy Young candidate. He's healthy.
Yankee fan.
Yes, he was a Cy Young candidate when he was at his best.
He had a great year. But he's inconsistent. That's the bottom line.
That's what you do for your age. You got to take a big swing, a big risk at a guy like this.
And it seems like the A's are going to have to overpay to get guys to play in that godforsaken MLB ballpark, or not the minor league ballpark, I should say, with 80% of their games at night due to the grueling heat in Sacramento. So just off of that, it sounds like they're going to have to overspend a little bit just to get a player there.
Are they going to spend more, or is that it? Did they tap that?
From what Jeff Passan tweeted of the ESPN, the MLB Insider, that they're going to look to get their payroll to somewhere near $100 million, which is something that's unheard of for the A's.
And they're no longer the worst team in baseball. The White Sox and a couple other dreads made sure
the A's are going to be solid
year.
next year. They have a lot of young players. Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker had a great year. Mason Miller, of course. They have a lot of good players. They have a good bullpen, too. But it's the principle of paying it. There's a couple ways you could take of it. Luis Severino is a pretty high-ceiling player, low-floor player at that. But it's to me, my takeaway is the principle of spending the money.
Right.
You waited till you left Oakland, and you waited to send it on sort of a toss-up candidate for a pitching prospect into Luis Severino. So there's positives and negatives. Ultimately, you got to be happy they're spending a little bit of money. Too little, too late.
Yeah, at least you're spending money. You could be like the Guardians. We let that Matt Boyd go, Kyle. We wouldn't even consider giving him what Matt Boyd got from the Cubs, by the way. So be happy.
I mean, Luis Severino is a more expensive prospect than Matt Boyd.
But still, like the fact that we won't even give Boyd the $20 million for 2 years that he was looking for.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of. I mean, Severino's
it's a lot of money when our payroll is $16 million a year.
I mean, you're speaking to an A's fan, so I understand the point. That was the 5 at 5. 5 o'clock, Russo and Rizzo. We're live here at Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. The sun is going down, but still, I'm telling you, the vibes and the weather as good as it possibly gets. Good Thursday night matchup tonight on Amazon Prime Video, I should say. 8:15 kickoff, Packers-Lions in that one. We'll continue the program next. Stick around. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the South Florida community. That's why they offer military banking products, champion veteran-owned businesses, and provide support to local organizations that empower veterans and their families with the resources they need to succeed. PNC Bank. See how they can help you at pnc.com/military. The PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated, all rights reserved. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at kaisergolfcenter.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED. and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to Hims. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through Hims.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through Hims.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. I'm back, baby! Unsportsmanlike every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 106.3.
Hey, my name is Colin Russo, and this is your Miami Dolphins Minute. Well, the Miami Dolphins got beat by the cold once again as they took the field at Lambeau on Thanksgiving Day for a brisk night matchup versus the Green Bay Packers. The Finns came into the game riding hot on a 3-game winning streak, but couldn't get anything going offensively as they fell to an early 24-3 deficit en route to a 30-17 final versus the Packers. A non-existent run game and lackluster protection for Tua Tagovailoa proved to be the difference maker in the Packers securing the victory. Well, the Dolphins now sit at 5-7 and are a couple games back of a wild card playoff spot, but a manageable schedule is on the horizon with the Jets coming to Hard Rock this coming Sunday for a 1 p.m. kick, and you can listen to that game right here on ESPN 106.3. Well, that was your Miami Dolphins Minute presented by Hard Rock Bet, Florida's official sportsbook. Bet on the Dolphins all season long. Try Hard Rock Bet now. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager, terms, conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADD-MINUTE.
My leg! My leg! I am not angry. I am in pain. My leg!
Time now for an injury report.
My head and torso! Wow, that's crazy. They hit me everywhere except my legs!
Presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
My leg!
The Baptist Health injury report. Packers-Lions tonight. The Lions are a little shorthanded defensively, especially on that defensive line. DJ Reader, shoulder injury, did not play all week in practice. Game status labeled as out. Taylor Decker, of course, their star tackle. Knee injury, did not play all week. Game status, out. Joshua Paschal did not play all week. Knee injury, out. Carlton Davis and Emmanuel Mosley with a knee and hamstring injury, respectively, being looked at. Were yet to be determined, despite a couple full practices this weekend, whether they will play tonight. Hopefully they'll get some much-needed secondary help there. On the Packers side of things, Jair Alexander, out. Corey Ballantyne, another cornerback, defensive back for them, knee injury, out. Talk about a broken down, beaten up team on either side here,
Right.
waiting to see what's going on with Josh Jacobs and Isaiah McDuffie, and Romeo Dobbs is going to be out. Edgerrin Cooper, the rookie linebacker, out.
Jeez, you weren't kidding.
So there's going to be a lot on either side tonight of injuries. It's going to be a scrappy game, and nothing wrong with that.
No, and two teams that run the ball well. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery on one side, and you call Brandon Jacobs one of the better signings in the NFL. I agree. So,
Josh Jacobs, yes.
Sorry. I always do that. Brandon Jacobs, New York Giants, the 4th and 1
right.
in Super Bowl.
And talking about injuries in the NBA side of things, it sounds like LeBron's not.
Yeah. LeBron is a game time decision. I mean, hey, C-Cat, you there?
No.
Okay. Explain this one to me. So LeBron just plays in Miami, and then he's got a back-to-back tonight, and he's a game-time decision. Does that not scream that league to you, brother?
Why do I need to be here for that?
I don't know. I just want to,
He wanted a third opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
reluctant producer.
Isn't he our
dude.
producer?
Ooh, your cereal today, there was something in it.
Do we need to open? Do we need to have a job posting? Do I need to talk to Brian
We
Rhodes?
need to open up the phone lines. The Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. That was your Baptist Health injury report. The Baptist Health, Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic foot and ankle joint replacement, spine and sports medicine care. They got it all. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. They have offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. Go learn more now. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Well, no LeBron tonight, but yeah, you're right. To the point of, does that scream the NBA?
Brother, my answer I think the perfect answer to that 5-5 is C-Cat, what game was it? The 20th game of the year. C-Cat, what star didn't play in the game? Oh, Riz, Jimmy Butler. C-Cat, how much did the Lakers lose by in Miami? 40. That is the league right now.
Do they shorten the season?
And then bow down to the players and lose all that money that the teams would get? Like, the reason they have
Their contracts would take they take a hit too.
The contracts would take a hit. The TV deals, the next time they need to re-up, would take a hit because there's less games. I don't know. The NBA, like, I just, and you could call me a baseball loyalist. I'm like Colin. I absolutely love the MLB, all right? I just crack up every time of, how do we fix baseball? No one's watching the NBA either. No one's watching a regular season NBA game either, probably other than us who are uber sport fans. So, and it's hard for me right now for everything I just said. 40-point losses, stars not playing. The only one that carrying a head coach at J.J. Redick, who's probably going to be fired. That's another NBA thing right now. J.J. Redick will be fired in a year. Like, we play musical chairs with all these coaches. It's just a bad look right now, all around.
Speaking of baseball, of course, the winter meeting starting up next week in Dallas. All the owners are going to be in one spot. A lot of the executives are going to be in one spot. And more importantly, Scott Boras will probably be on site and present. So you'll get to hear what's going to happen with Juan Soto. You're going to hear what's going to happen with Pete Alonso, Corbin Burns. Go down the list. I think you're going to see a lot of free agency movement due to the winter meetings. It's a good time for people to negotiate and the whole thing. So
Can I say something? I know Blake Snell just got a giant contract and is a former Cy Young. I think it hurts Snell and Jordan Montgomery, former client of Boras. I don't know if we're going to see him extend it. Remember Cody Bellinger, too? Bellinger had that slow start to the year with the Cubs after he signed. I'm kind of, listen, I understand the business, and you're the one who has to explain it to me all the time, how the teams have to work with the agents and stuff, but, like, I'm tired of Scott Boras. I'm sick and tired of that
It's a little monopolistic.
I'm sick and tired of the guy, and I'm sick and tired of him holding out his clients, and it just so happens that his clients are some of the best in the MLB year in and year out. I'm sick of these guys holding out into spring training. That's ridiculous. The MLB needs to step in and make a rule. Hey, dude, you got to sign by this time. They got to step in and make a rule like that.
It sounds like on the Juan Soto things, we're always going to check up on it. From the insiders who know, it sounds like there's a bunch of misinformation out there, but one thing is for sure, the end is near with Juan Soto and where he is going to sign. And another thing is for certain, too, it is going to be for a record length and a record amount of money, too. I even saw a report today that it could extend past the $700 million ranks, which is, to me, a little ludicrous for a guy who does not offer you nearly as much as somebody comparable to Shohei Ohtani. That is a little much.
Right, and I want to remind people, too, with these big contracts in the MLB, the one I think of is Albert Pujols. Pujols was great for like 3 or 4 years in Anaheim, now Los Angeles. You know, Colin, the last 6 of those years were so hard to watch, and he ultimately
He was older.
Correct. And like Bryce Harper, I think a similar thing is going to happen with Bryce Harper. The Phillies have a World Series window right now, which they failed to hit on. Obviously, there's still some time. They got a great roster,
Harper
great
contract
pitching.
is worth it. That's not fair to say.
But towards the back end, it's not going to be worth it, right? What is that, a 12-year deal, a 10-year deal?
Him and Soto might be the two toughest postseason at-bats in baseball.
Won't argue that.
Off of that alone, that contract's worth it. He is worth the money. He is worth the investment. Juan Soto is somewhat similar because he has proven postseason commodity.
Yeah, and you saw Soto hit. You saw Soto's hit big home runs against my Guardians. You've seen him hit home runs in the World Series. Obviously, won a World Series with the Washington Nationals as a young buck, and they don't make them like Soto. You know, the MLB is one of those sports where it's very hard to come up at a young age. I believe Soto was like 18 or 19 when he came up hitting bombs off of
He's a 19-year-old in the World Series.
I mean, that's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of.
$700+ million.
We should have known it. We should have known it.
Unbelievable. That is an incredible too much amount of money. I don't understand. Ohtani, he pitches, he hits, he runs the bag. You could throw him in the field if you need to. He is a leadoff hitter. He's consistent. He can hit all over the plate. He can hit all over the field. Soto is an elite at bat That's probably it. He's not an elite runner.
They tried to make an argument that his outfielding skills took a turn this year. He had a couple of throwouts at home.
That had a lot to do with the Yankees, too.
Yeah.
The Yankees, they don't necessarily, make you do your layup line, so to speak, in terms of actually developing your skills and making sure they're honed in by the time postseason comes in. As we saw that in Game 3 of the World Series, that 5-0, Game 4, I should say, that fifth inning meltdown, an absolute nightmare on that end. That was actually Game 5, yeah. I don't know what I was thinking of. But more importantly, the Yankees don't utilize your defensive skills as much, so Juan Soto probably looked worse than he actually is. But nonetheless, he's not an elite glove in right field or wherever you put him. So off of that alone, you're paying for his at-bat.
He'll be a DH. To Colin's point, I think he'll be a DH 4 years into that contract.
I mean, you can't pay him all that money and DH him. You could do that with Ohtani because he had a reconstructed arm.
Well, Pujols. So, I compare it to Pujols.
But he's physically capable. He's not a great bat glove, but you're right. He's
towards the
capable.
Back end, Pujols, you're going to be DH.
Because he was old. And Soto's not old.
Or
he's
hey, bud, get your butt over to first base.
Yeah, he's 26.
Get a first baseman glove and start fielding some grounders, will you?
You don't pay somebody $700 million to stick him at DH.
Work on that stretch.
Yeah.
Work on that stretch.
The Scott Hatterberg rule of Moneyball. Go get out there at first. Go figure it out. But very strange. I don't know what's going to happen there. I think that's a too much amount of money. It sounds like the Yankees might get a bit, not a discount, but their due diligence. And it sounds like he wants to be with the Yankees because it's the ultimate brand. But he's a hired gun. He's a contractor. He's going to go wherever the check is biggest. Lean Mets, lean Dodgers. As long as the Dodgers don't get him, baseball's okay.
Yeah, if the Dodgers get him, you got a real problem. And Christian Cat, our household Yankee fan, I don't know if he's there or not, but I told Christian yesterday, I said, I think it'd be weird to see Soto not in a Yankee uniform. And as a Cleveland Guardian fan, that guy's in my nightmares from how well he played against us in the ALCS. But, Christian, I still stand by what I said. It's going to be very weird if Juan Soto isn't in that Yankee uniform next year.
Oh, yeah, certainly will. He kind of made an impact, which I think – if Juan Soto was on any contender, every contender would feel the same way. I don't think it's special about New York when you have a once-in-a-generation kind of postseason bat and postseason presence at the plate. You kind of want to wrap your arms around him.
And also, I want to add another layer to this, Colin. The Yankees losing a money battle for Soto is also nuts, too. The Yankees have always been that team in my lifetime where it doesn't matter how big that check is. They're going to write that blank check. The Dodgers have kind of turned in that out a little bit. We mentioned the deferred payments. You and I aren't necessarily a fan of that. I personally, with the kind of and this isn't me knocking Soto. I don't blame the young man for not wanting to do a deferred payment, but I don't see him as the type to do a deferred payment. Would you agree on that?
Probably not. But if he wants to play for the Dodgers and the Dodgers are going to throw him that type of money, if he wants to get paid, $15 million.
Who's the Dodgers right fielder right now?
They have a slew of people that they throw.
That's what
Mookie Betts.
That's what I mean. What do you do?
Well, they throw him somewhere. They'll find a spot for him.
Center?
No.
That's what I mean.
Well, Mookie's going to move back to short.
Okay.
And then so they're going to have Mookie at short.
And can't Mookie play center? The guy is
a
Swiss Army knife.
He's going to play short.
You think he wants to?
Yes.
And they're going to have Jason Hayward.
Yeah, thank you. Jason Hayward. By the way, Cubby fans, don't bring that up to them. One of the worst contracts they ever had. They used to tell me they paid that guy $180 million for a rain delay speech.
I think the bigger question is if the Yankees don't get him, then what?
Then
who?
If the Yankees...
How do you fill in that void?
Agreed.
We'll continue that conversation, answer that question next. How do the Yankees even fill that void? If Juan Soto goes elsewhere, the Baptist Health Hotline to get into the program, 888-760-3776. Where do they even go? Do they go bats? Do they go arms? Mix of all the above? Where do the Yankees' future lies? We continue the conversation. We're live at Hurricane Grill in Boynton Beach. Continuing on. Stick around. Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Palm Beach County's premier college football event is back. Don't miss the 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, Wednesday, December 18th from FAU Stadium and broadcast live on ESPN. Last year's game saw in-state Rising Power USF beat Syracuse out of the ACC. What will this year's game have in store? Big names, big teams, big action. The 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, December 18th at FAU Stadium on ESPN. Don't miss out. Find out more at BocaRatonBowl.com.
Have you been injured in an Uber or Lyft accident? Rubenstein Law has been representing accident victims for 35 years. We're proud to have a fully English and Spanish-speaking firm with 20 offices in Florida, New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. We've recovered billions for our clients. We fight rideshare companies. If you've been injured in an Uber or Lyft accident, call us now. Rubenstein Law, 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Office in West Palm Beach. We're open on weekends, too.
Florida Atlantic women's basketball season is here. Join head coach Jennifer Sullivan and star guards Maya Perry and Jada Moore at Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena this year for big-time college basketball action. Groups of 15 or more get in free. Single game tickets just $10. The band, the cheerleaders, the fun, the action, it's all there with Florida Atlantic women's basketball. Visit FAUsports.com for more information. Florida Atlantic Owls, winning in paradise.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Hey, it's your boy JC. Could Florida State alum Jameis Winston become the new face of the Browns franchise? We explain why it's more likely than not on today's brand new Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Subscribe now on YouTube. Questionable Call with Josh Cohen. Brand new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen. I'm back, baby! Unsportsmanlike every morning, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on ESPN 106.3.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Go nowhere else than Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. They have a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care, so much more. Visit BaptistHealth.net/ortho for more information. Once again, they have conveniently located offices in Palm Beach County through the Florida Keys. All you got to do to learn more is go to BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Phone line to get in, 888-760-3776 for all our Yankee fans out there. If Juan Soto signs elsewhere, whether that be with the Red Sox, whether that be with the Blue Jays, the Mets, the Dodgers, I know he might want to go there, but I don't know if the Yankees are going to open up the checkbook to the lengths that he might require in order for to get his services. Where do you even go if Juan Soto signs elsewhere? And you don't just fill a void in right field and all of a sudden you're good to go. You need to fill a void in the infield. You need to figure out what's going on. How are you going to handle second base? How are you going to handle third base? Are you going to run it back with Chisholm over at third? How are you going to improve that outfield? You're not going to get 162 games out of Stanton. Where do the Yankees go? Do you improve the arms? The bullpen worked out for the most part towards the end, but it got beaten up because of overuse, and their starters were fairly unreliable outside of their ace Cole. So where do you even go?
Burns, he declined the qualifying offer.
Burns would be an option.
You could go Burns, but this is if they don't re-sign Soto, correct? So CCAT, our Yankee fan, Christian, you missed out on Juan Soto. Don't worry, buddy. You get Max Kepler. This list of free agents, the Bats, Colin, is abysmal. Like Jerickson, I think I've nailed it down to like Jerickson Profar.
Jerickson, the former number one prospect in
correct.
baseball. Former A.
On team Uchiha Uzumaki last year in my fantasy league, and Pete Alonso. Those would probably be the two best guys. And listen,
Christian Walker too from the.
You like Walker?
Walker's a good bat.
Who's he's only good against righties or lefties. It's one or the other. I forget which side of the plate he bats from, but he's only good at the opposite arm.
Right, I think it's
my understanding. He doesn't even play when a lefty is up. But
the thing about Walker is Walker's 35 homers. So, and I heard the Yankees do like him. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They need to fill voids in hitting. So they need to fill a void in terms of actual plate production.
My take is if they don't get Soto, nothing is going to be able to fix that output, obviously, when you lose a guy like that. But it just seems like to me if the Yankees don't get Soto, the whole season next year might fall apart on them, honest to God. Because you were that far off it, mate. You were that far off it with Juan Soto in the lineup against the Dodgers. All right? If anything, you need Juan Soto. It's not even we want – it's a need for Juan Soto and then add elsewhere. That's the Yankee way. The Yankee way is it's not even a conversation. Juan Soto's coming back. Oh, and by the way, we're going to get more to be able to compete with the Dodgers. Do you agree with that?
Well, they would need that in order to compete with the Dodgers. They were definitely shorthanded. The Dodgers are getting stronger, so they're going to need a little bit more firepower.
And I understand it's baseball. There's no guarantee that the Dodgers are even there next year. There's no guarantees that the Yankees are even back in the World Series next year. I completely understand that. But the Dodgers right now are that standard. And the Yankees that I grew up watching, the 04 Yankees, 05, the evil empire that won, C-Cat 3 in a row before losing to the Diamondbacks, that's what that team would have done. They got Bernie Williams. All right, now we're going to go out to Japan and get, Hideki Matsui.
That was a perfect legion of and also there was a George Steinbrenner team, but I understand. I understand the point, and the Yankee ownership is not what it used to be. And some people think that Steinbrenner's a little overrated, and due to he was better, the Yankees were better during his suspension, whatever you want to say. But ultimately, the Yankees, Juan Soto is going to leave a pretty substantial gap in a pretty light lineup to begin with. So they're going to have to really bulk up the meat and potatoes of that lineup. And number two, they're going to have to beef up some arms a little bit in order to compete. Cole is not getting any younger. Judge is not getting any younger. If you're reliant on Judge to have 65 homers and 150 RBIs with a 325 average, then if you're relying on that once again, he might do it, but it's not necessarily something that's sustainable.
My best guess is if they don't go out and get Soto, if they're unable to bring Soto back, rather, they're going to get Burns. They're going to go all in on Burns, which is crazy because they went all in on Rodon and Cole. That's just the Yankee way to keep adding. I think they could get in on the sweepstakes for the Sasaki kid, the Roki Sasaki.
He's going to stay on the West Coast.
You think so?
Yes. But the one thing about...
And then, sorry, one more thing, Kyle Walker. They probably get Walker, get Burns, and maybe try to get the Sasaki kid from Japan.
That would be the blueprint, but I don't think Burns is that. I don't know how interested he is.
And can I say something? Burns' strikeouts are down. He was great last year, but his strikeouts are down. I wonder if that's...
You know what would be a good spot for Burns?
Where's that?
Detroit. Detroit would be a very good spot.
Skubal and Burns.
They need a second arm in the worst way.
They need hitting.
They have a rich ownership group. They're not afraid to spend money. They have a good manager.
You want to know who could use Walker? Is Detroit.
No, Detroit could use hitting, of course. But
they got Torkelson. I understand they got Torkelson.
They got a young team, and they got a good farm system, but they don't have a lot of arms.
Kyle, they don't hit home runs. They need power, right? They won.
The big problem was that they were. If you don't win the Skubal game, you're screwed. So that second arm would help them.
That too, but they need pop in that lineup. But I agree with you. They probably need another arm outside of Jack Flaherty was there early on in the year.
They were bullpen getting every third game. You can't do that.
God, who was that bullpen arm that I couldn't stand, Colin, that kept coming in against the guards?
Grease?
No, the other one.
Bo Breesy?
There we go.
Yeah,
there
Bo
we go.
Breesy.
There we go. He was unreal, untouchable at parts.
Yeah. So I'm just hypothesizing here, but the Yankees.
Let me name you the best at every position. All right. Willie Adames. We'll start. Actually, hold on, Mike. Catchers. Kyle Higashioka.
Yeah,
I always say that wrong.
Higashioka.
I'm terrible with names. Walker, that we've talked about, Christian Walker. Gleyber Torres at second.
Ugh.
He ain't coming back to New York.
Nope,
all right?
let him go.
And he's the best one. Willie Adames, could he be a serious player at shortstop?
Now, because they're going to go with Volpe at shortstop, you're going to need somebody to fill in at second, and whether that's LeMahieu or not, or if you're going to have somebody to fill in at third.
So second baseman outside of Torres, Kyle Farmer, Nicky Lopez, Whit Merrifield, Jorge Polanco. A miserable list.
Yeah.
A miserable list.
Not great.
Bregman is the top third baseman.
Bregman's not going to New York. I mean, I'd be blown away if Alex Bregman, of all people, signs with New York City.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. Outfielders, and we'll start with the left fielders. Tyler O'Neill, Jerickson Profar, Mark Canha, Austin Hayes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not a great bunch.
Center fielder. They already had Harrison Bader. He ain't coming back. Michael A. Taylor, Garrett Hampson, Kevin Pillar.
You got Judge in center. So
Miserable, but Colin, a miserable list, to say the least. Right fielders, obviously Juan Soto, Anthony Santander. Now, Teoscar Hernandez, maybe? Would Hernandez make sense? He had a huge year with the Dodgers.
And,
I mean, a comeback player of the year.
They revitalized his career. So that there's one thing there.
And then
Santander makes a ton of sense. Of course, the Yankees were willing to pay that money. Of course, he had a great year last year for Baltimore. They're going to need two big-time.
And there's DH list. There's a
bats.
DH with Jock Peterson. I think he would do good in that ballpark.
Oh, God.
You hate Jock, huh?
I mean, he's heavy, but, whatever. You like Jock Peterson. What has Jock Peterson done
He's heavy.
since the turn of the decade? I mean, geez.
Seacat, he's heavy.
Yeah.
Sure is. I've wanted Jock as a Yankee for a long time now. That would be nice this offseason.
He's heavy.
Well, they're going to have Dominguez over there and probably playing left. And then I don't know what the Yankees plan on doing with that infield. With that, if they want to keep going back with LeMahieu and then run it back with Chisholm, I mean, be my guest. But
that's that list, guys. And obviously Blake Snell just signed a deal.
First base, you're going to go Bertie? I mean, you're not going Volpe. Oh, God.
Alonso and Walker. I wouldn't be
Not Volpe,
surprised
Rizzo.
in any of them. Yeah, Alonso and Walker. Rizzo, a free agent, by the way.
Yeah, no, they're letting him walk. So they're going to need to fill in first base, too. They got a lot of problems in that lineup. That team is in
the bottom
in a lot
half of the
danger.
lineup. I told you the bottom half of that lineup was a joke for the New York Yankees.
Crazy to say that a World Series contending team that was probably a couple crucial outs away from really being back in that series, not winning, but being back in that series against the Dodgers. The fact that they are one player away from going into a near free fall of just a lack of talent, especially on the hitting side of things, is concerning. So we'll see what happens with the Yankees. Live here at Hurricane Grill. This place is awesome.
Oh, my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. I told you. And we had this has been the best weather day I've had since being down here in West Palm Beach. I was at Jupiter earlier this morning doing a site survey for the boys for the weekend. By the way, we got to go out in Jupiter. That was a fun spot. But the spot to be at right now, Boynton Beach, Hurricane Grill, absolutely fantastic. I've been seeing some of the food, too, Colin. The food
smells good in here.
Looks really good as well. Great vibes as well. They got all of any game you'd want. They got all the TVs you want. Get out to the Hurricane Grill.
For those of you who are the big golf fans of the bunch, tickets are now on sale for the 2025 Cognizant Classic. It's in the Palm Beaches. It's South Florida's premier event. It returns to PGA National. It's February 26th to March 2nd. So only a couple months away, really, from back in golf and in the big time. Our guy Todd Fleming, might talk to him a little bit tomorrow, but talk about a big event that's coming to town once again, the Cognizant Classic, that is. As a tradition at the Cognizant Classic, the youth ticket program as well offers a maximum of 2 children, ages 15 and under, to be admitted free per one ticketed adult. So you can even bring a family, the family endeavor, to go to the COG for the youth ticket program, which gives you free tickets for 15 and under children. There's also the Military Appreciation Initiative that they have, where the Cognizant Classic and the PGA Tour have a deep-rooted commitment to supporting military members, veterans, and their families, especially those who call South Florida home. Local service members will have the chance to reserve 2 complimentary grounds tickets per day through the military ticket program. More information on how to redeem military tickets will be announced at a later date, but keep an eye out for that for our veterans of the community that are looking to go to the Cognizant Classic. Even if you want an upgraded experience, it's called the Bear Trap. It's an exclusive open-air hospitality experience with covered stadium seating on a first-come, first-served basis. It's overlooking the iconic 17th hole at PGA National Resort. For the first time, tickets in the Bear Trap will include beer, wine, seltzer, and non-alcoholic beverages. Ton of action. It's going to be a lot of fun. So go check out everything you need to know with the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches. It's February 26th to March 2nd. Cognizant Classic. Talk to our guy Todd Fleming, of course, the executive director of that event. Should be a lot of fun on that front. All right, it's a Thursday edition. We got Thursday Night Football, Week 14 kicking off tonight at 8:15, just a couple hours here. Packers, Lions, we've talked about it. Score prediction, Mike. Go ahead. What's going to happen in this game?
I'll go with the Lions 21-17. I think Jamison Williams finds the end zone.
Low scoring.
Twice. And I think the Packer offense surprisingly struggles, even though that defense is really banged up. I just think Detroit by far the best team in the NFC right now. But I think the Packers are a good enough football team to keep it close. Give me 21-17, the Lions winners on Prime tonight.
Wow. I'm thinking a scoregami is going to happen tonight.
Really? You think some crazy high-scoring game tonight? Two pretty good defenses.
Have we seen a 26-25 score in the NFL? That's where I'm leaning. I'd have to check the scoregami list. But I think this is going to be a game that is going to be decided in the final moments, whether that be in a last-second field goal or something like that. I think the Packers are going to eke this one out. And at 9-3, they don't want to fall 2 games behind with the Vikings and the Lions, especially with more divisional games wrapping up here. They don't have an impossible schedule, but it's not that easy, especially with all the divisional games. And the Lions and the Vikings, on the other hand, also have a tough schedule to finish the year. Just off of that alone, this is a must-win situation that I'm sure they're coming in thinking that. They want to beat the Lions on their home turf after losing in Lambeau earlier in the year. Going to be motivated, going to be good on both sides. And I think they're going to take advantage just from some crucial pieces, especially on the defensive line on the Lions side, on the injury report. So off of that alone, I could see the Packers coming in, love having a little bit of time, coming fresh off a very convincing win on Thanksgiving. But this will be a good game nonetheless. I think it will be back and forth to the final moments. Give me the Packers in a close one. Hopefully a scoregami. That's what I'm hoping for. But big thanks to Hurricane Grill over in Boynton Beach for helping us out, getting us situated here outdoors on the patio. What a lovely area. They got everything you need in this area. They got food, they got drink, they got TVs. You can watch sports, you can enjoy the weather. Hurricane Grill has you covered. Go check it out in Boynton Beach. First time really getting down here since I moved to South Florida, and I'm impressed with what I see from Boynton Beach. Big thanks to Christian Cat helping us out back at the studios. Should be a fun one tonight, Mike. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. One of the better games on Prime. What's the stigmatism? Usually these Prime games stink. Not tonight, guys. Not tonight.
Prime has had a good couple of weeks here. Hopefully they continue the trend. Appreciate everybody listening. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 4 to 6, maybe longer. Stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens. It's been Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
It's wintertime, which means you need to get ahead of all the bowl game action and plan out your weekends. It's time to make Twin Peaks your headquarters to watch all your favorite teams, your favorite games, the bowl games, and the NFL playoffs. Whether your teams win or lose, you still wind up a winner with each